So let's start this. So the first question is, workers should not handle food or on eating and cleaning utensils when they have or recently had any of the following symptoms. Okay, so what is the main reason behind it? First is vomiting, diarrhea, fever, sore throat with fever, jaundice, infected cuts. Second is runny nose, sneezing, cough, congestion, cold symptoms. Third is A and B, and fourth option is none of the above. Some of you might think that it must be C. Okay, but it's not right. It's the first option, which is vomiting, diarrhea, fever, sore throat with fever, jaundice, and infected cuts. But why the second is not there? Because when the symptoms are like runny nose, sneezing, cough, you can cover your face. Okay, you can cover your face as well, and you can wash your hand before preparing the food or processing the food or making any things. So you can wash your hands. So it can be cured. But in the first option, which is vomiting, diarrhea, fever, sore throat with fever, jaundice, and infected, it can be infected, it can spread through bacteria, it can spread through virus. Okay, the virus can spread, the bacteria can spread, so it can't be cured easily. So the option is first. So the answer is first, vomiting, diarrhea, fever, sore throat with fever, jaundice, and infected cuts. So workers should not handle food on eating and cleaning utensils when they have these of the following symptoms. So the answer is A. Next question is, food workers should wash their hands after which? So the food workers should wash their hands after coughing, sneezing, scratching, wiping nose, cleaning. Obviously that must be true. Second is touching exposed body parts, handling raw animal food, handling money. Before putting on disposable gloves or after using the restroom. And fourth option is all of the above. So the right answer is all of the above. So after doing all these things, food workers should wash their hands properly. Okay, the food workers should wash their hands properly after doing all these things. So fourth is the correct option. So the next question is, for safety, all raw poultry, beef, fish and meat should be cooked at what minimum temperature? I had already covered this topic about the temperature, about the freezing, about the boiling, about the preservation of the food. So what is the correct answer in this? Pause the video in between and try to give yourself your answer. So the correct answer is A, 165 degree Fahrenheit. So for safety, all raw poultry, beef, fish and meat should be cooked at 165 degree Fahrenheit. So 165 degree Fahrenheit is the safe temperature for cooking the food. Next is all food that must be refrigerated. Now what is the maximum temperature in which the food should be refrigerated so that it should not spoil? What is the temperature? It is 41 degree Fahrenheit, or we can say 5 degree Celsius. So 5 degree Celsius, it should be held at or below that temperature, 5 degree Celsius. Next is, what are the pillars of GAP? What is GAP? That is good agriculture practices, right? GAP is the good agriculture practices. Whole complete video is on this topic, GAP. So what are the pillars of this? It is economic viability, environmental sustainability, social acceptability, and food safety and quality. So it considers all these things. So these are the 4 pillars of GAP: economic viability, environmental sustainability, social acceptability, food safety and quality. So these are the pillars of good agriculture and practices. So the next question is food laws. So the food laws are classified into how many types? It are classified into 2 types. And what are these 2 types? It are mandatory standards and voluntary standards. So what is a mandatory standard and what are the voluntary standards? mandatory standard is Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. That is a mandatory standard. That is, you have to follow that standards. So that is the mandatory Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. Voluntary standard is CAC, Codex Alimentarius Commission. So that is the voluntary standard which you have to follow. That is voluntary and that is mandatory, which is compulsory. Okay. So there are two food laws, mandatory standards and voluntary standards. There are two standards. Next question is the aim behind Food Safety and Standard Act of establishment was. The aim behind FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India establishment was, what is the aim behind that? To establish a single reference point for all matters relating to food safety and standards? Yes. So that the licensee should not be worry about the license. So there must be a single reference point. Okay. To move from multi-level, multi-departmental control to single line of command. Yeah. So that they should not roam around different departments. So there must be a single line, single department should be there. To establishment and independent statutory authority. Yes. So all of the above. So the food FSSAI establishment aim was the all of these. All of these are the aim behind this establishment. Next question is, what is the mandate behind the establishment of Act 2006? What is the mandate? What is the aim behind the establishment of this act? To lay down science-based standard for food articles. Yeah, it considers food articles. It lay down the rules and regulations. It really lay down the standards also. Second is to regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import. Yes. It carry out from the beginning, from the processing, preparation till the export and the sale. Okay. Third is to ensure availability of safe and wholesome food for human consumption. Yes, it considers that the food should be safe, food should be consumable by the humans. So it considers all these things. So D is the correct option, that is all of the above. So the mandate behind this act is all these things. Next question is, how much time will it take to get this FSSAI license once all the documentation and fees paying is done? Once all the procedure has been done, after the inspection, the license should be issued within how many days? It should be issued within 60 days. So 60 days time period is given for issuing this license. Last question is, GMP is also termed as CGMP. What is GMP? That is good manufacturing practices. And why it is also called CGMP? It is also called CGMP because C is the current good manufacturing practices, meant the rules and regulations which are issued currently. Okay, so that C meant current. So thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe my channel. Thank you.